ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकयां चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानमे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। So we have been seeing in the epic written by Valmiki Ramayana. I know many of you are joining for first time. Some of you have already seen our previous sessions. Those who have missed the sessions, these are available on YouTube on this channel called Haridas Varya. So you can search on YouTube and listen to the previous lectures. So today we will have two parts to this lecture due to the Zoom limitations. So I apologize. Maybe from tomorrow we will have a single session so that you don't have to disconnect and connect. So I'll let you know when is the right time that you will have to disconnect and connect. That said, just a quick recap of where we left off 4 days back. We saw how Lord Ramchandra appeared on this planet Earth on Chaitra Masa Punarvasu as the star. Along with him came Bharata, the son of Kaikeyi, and the twins Sumitra gave birth to Lakshmana and Shatrughna. We also saw the meaning of all the four transcendental brothers, or who starts with Lord Ramchandra, Ramayati iti Ramaha, Bharata iti Bharataha, Lakshmana iti Lakshmi iti Sampanno Lakshmanaha, and Shatrughno Nitya Shatrughno. All these four names we saw in detail, that how all attractive is Lord Ramchandra, how the burden of accusations which is not attributed to Bharata was also carried by Bharata, hence his name was called Bharata. We also saw one who is always resplendent and interested in the service of the Lord as Lakshmana. And we also saw Shatrughna, one who had won over the victories, or one who had won over the enemies against his and gained victory against his enemies. His enemies are external and internal in nature. So we saw all that, and we also saw the great arrival of Vishwamitra and how he asks to Dasharatha that he needs none other than Lord Ramchandra, and which after much denial, when Vashishta also agrees, then Lord Ramchandra was allowed to go behind Vishwamitra. So this is the entire history that we have seen in Balakanda till now. So now today we will proceed further from where we have left out. So today is part 6 of Balakanda, and we will hopefully reach up to the kingdom of Janaka. Just for those who are joining, letting you know that tomorrow we will have two lectures, one in the morning and one in the evening. So the lecture links will be there. Tomorrow we will have 11 a.m. to 12:30 in the morning, that is around in the afternoon time. And then again, we will resume in the evening at the same time. Because it's a Sunday, I know generally people are a little free from their office work and other things, so they will be having a little more time. So it'll be great if you can join for both the sessions. And what we'll be talking is especially about Sita Kalyana. So without further ado, so we did see that in Ramayana, what happened was Vishwamitra was very happy at the end that Vashishta also agreed that Lord Ramchandra would be given to safeguard his yajna which he will be performing at Siddha Ashram. In fact, we saw that how Vashishta and Vishwamitra were always at loggerheads. If Vashishta says yes, Vishwamitra will say no. Such were their past history. Even in Mahabharata, when you actually read, Ved Vyasa is very, very excellently writing the verses. Even while writing the all the great sages, he won't write the two sages' name, Vashishta and Vishwamitra, because both of them start with the letter V. So, from an alphabetical order, if you actually see that you can actually add this particular sage's name together, because Vishwamitra will come as V and Vashishta will also come as V. But if you see Mahabharata, what Veda Vyasa does is he introduces a name in between Vashishta and Vishwamitra also, who is none other than Jamadagni. This is because that he feels that if these two personalities, even if their names are together, the letters in itself will start fighting because they are staunch enemies of each other. When I say enemies, more like competitors. So because they are competitors, even may letters may fight with each other, so they never agree on anything. Nevertheless, whenever Vishwamitra said, Vashishta, do you agree that if Rama comes with me, don't you think all auspiciousness will reign for Ramchandra? And don't you think Ayodhya will prosper? And don't you think Lord Rama's glory will be attributed everywhere in the streets of Ayodhya? Vashishta nevertheless said to Dasharatha, we may disagree in our Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha on many items. We may disagree on any bill which is passed by Vishwamitra. But on this particular mention, what you have said, I am agreeing to Vishwamitra. This is never done before. It was an unprecedented claim. And hence, Dasharatha was very convinced if Vashishta can agree with Vishwamitra, maybe it is true. Then he calls Lord Rama and he says, listen, I give you a special instruction. Wherever this great personality called Vishwamitra goes, you go obediently. And Rama says, whatever you say, I will obey. Now, this is the quality of obedience of Lord Ramchandra. He always came to follow his Pitruvakya Paripalanam. That means he always came to ensure that his father's words are upheld. His father's words are totally followed without a flaw. Such was the Vedic culture that if the father has ordered, then the son will execute. But please note this point that father also has to order on things which are in line with Vedic version. Not that the father orders anything and the child should follow all that which is not in the Vedic version. So if the parents are walking in the path of spirituality, the children may take time to walk in the path of spirituality. But you know what? The children only have one source of goal to get inspired from. Though they might get inspired from their friends in the interim, though they might get inspired from their hostel mates, though they might get inspired from their work colleagues, though they may get inspired from their school friends, but constantly, if you see, the school friends will come and go, the college friends will come and go, the society friends will come and go, the college superiors and juniors will come and go, work will change, work colleagues will come and go, but the only constant who is there all throughout are the parents, if the parents are alive and walking that path. So their constant source of inspiration will always be parents. Most of them will not say it on their tongue. So if the parents are actually walking the path of dharma, irrespective, in the middle some children may go and come back, but at the long run the children will imbibe the values of the parents. There are cases seen when the parents have passed away, sometimes the children imbibe the values. Such is unfortunate, but at the same time we see that parents become the highest influence. Hence why I am saying this is, it becomes very pertinent for the parents that if they have the child, they to walk on the path of dharma. Dasharatha was one such parent, such a wonderful way he lived his Vedic life. So Lord Ramchandra himself appeared for Dasharatha and said, "Whatever my father says, I will obey." He called Lakshmana, and Dasharatha said, "Look, Lakshman, your elder brother, in a character certificate, he has the best character certificate. In all the schools that he went, his exit TC, transfer certificate, always had a plus A, plus plus, A plus plus was his character certificate. Nowhere he got a bad certificate. So never he will go against my words. But it is my humble request that you please keep in check whatever your brother needs." Lakshmana says, "Don't worry, father, it is your instruction, but it is my religious duty also to always take care of my elder brother." So, such should be the nature of the younger brothers or siblings as well, to always be next to the other sibling and encourage them to walk in the path of Dharma. Today, we see at many stages when people cross 40 and have their own lifestyles, the two siblings or the brothers or sisters, they fight for feud, they fight for land, they fight for property. Such should not be the case. If the center point of attraction is Krishna, or the center point of attraction is Lord Ramchandra, we see a beautiful example in Ramayana that how the four brothers might have different personalities, different quotients of interest, but one thing is common: to serve Lord Ramchandra. So that is the beauty which Balakanda narrates, or the youthful majesties of Valmiki Ramayana's first Balakanda. It mentions very beautifully this point. Vishwamitra is very happy. He says, "Sons, first thing what you should do is go to mother and take her blessings." Now, this is another great Vedic version and Vedic learning that we get from Ramayana, that the first thing that the young sons did is they went to Mother Kausalya, she being the king, the queen of Ayodhya, and what she gave is the blessings to Lord Ramchandra. And Ramchandra, after getting the blessings, he took the blessings of his father and finally his spiritual master. Looking at this section, looking at this session, if you see, first he took of his mother, then his father, and then his spiritual master, because in Vedic science, you all know it is Mata, Pita, Guru, and then the Lord himself. And then he went to Ranganath, took the blessings of Ranganath, and he said that now I'll follow Vishwamitra. Both of them had their small quivers and bows on their shoulder. In fact, Valmiki mentions very nicely that because both of them were just 12 years of age, their head, the shape of their head was little smaller, and they had their quiver, the place where you keep the arrows. They used to keep it behind them, so they had a bamboo basket of quivers, and at the same time they had a silver thread on those quivers falling on top of on their chest, and those arrows which were kept inside the quivers had feather tips. And those feather tips, generally they don't keep the arrow with its tip looking up. They generally keep the arrows upside down. So in the quivers, the tip of the arrow was inside, and the feathers of the arrow, which you actually string it to the bow, was on the top. And the feathers were looking very brilliant because some had reddish tinge, some had bluish tinge. Depending upon the different kind of arrows that Lord Rama and Lakshmana had, they had different colors of feathers. And those colors of feathers were actually coming out as a background to the head, small head of Lord Ramchandra, and it was bobbing left and right, looking at the Ayodhya Vasis, looking at Vishwamitra, they were walking. Valmiki says it was looking as if the multi-serpented head of Ananshesh were on top of them. In fact, he could see just like Lord Vishnu walking right in the roads of Ayodhya, and Ananshesh was just following by. Such is the poetic majesty of Valmiki. He can only poets can understand the inner meanings and inner feelings of Ayodhya Vasis as they saw it. So they started walking, and when they started walking, they crossed Sarayu, and they almost crossed Sarayu, and they reached an ashram where near Ganges, they reached an ashram at a place where there were a lot of sages. Both Lakshmana and Rama were welcomed by the sages, because who was traveling with them? The great sage Vishwamitra himself. Everybody knew about Vishwamitra far and wide. In fact, he was such a great sage that people welcomed them. They folded their hands and they said, Lord Rama has come. We have heard about him. We live very close to here, and we close to Ayodhya, and we are very fortunate today that the prince, the young prince of Kosala kingdom, the young prince of Ayodhya has come here. All the sages were very happy. Now we see that in Ramayana, Lord Rama visits a lot of sages. Right now, he is visiting with Vishwamitra. Later in the Aranya Kanda, or in the forest version, he will go and visit a lot of sages. In fact, he has pit stops every now and then. And the very reason he goes and meets so many of them is because of a simple reason, which he says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. While he annihilates the wrongdoers, the evildoers, the first foremost reason is to give the pleasure to his devotees. All these devotees are waiting to see Lord Ramchandra in Dandakaranya and all these sages and forests, so he gives darshan to them. But Rama has a very peculiar quality. In fact, it is one of the most quality of Lord Ramchandra that many people like, and we can this is one quality that we all can relate with Lord Ram. And what is that? He likes to hear stories. We all like to hear stories. In fact, from our younger days, our grandmother and grandfather used to tell us stories. If we don't eat our curd rice and our tamarind rice, our mother used to tell stories. They will make stories, otherwise, they will tell stories. So, Lord Ramchandra always, he was a very pakka child. And he always heard stories from Dasharath, from Kausalya, so he had this habit of listening to stories. Generally, it is seen that after the age of 5, 6, children kind of grow out of stories. But Lord Ramchandra was 12 years of age and still he liked stories. So, just like us, he also asked Vishwamitra, can you tell me which is this place where we have come to, where the sages are very nicely welcoming us? So, at every juncture, wherever they go, Lord Rama will ask the question to Vishwamitra, and because Vishwamitra knows the entire GPS, Google routes, and the places, and the Wikipedias, and trip advisors up to his benefit, he will actually speak out the beautiful pastimes of that place. He says, Rama, please sit down here. Lakshmana, please sit down. And they both sit down. All the sages sit down. And Vishwamitra starts speaking about this place. He said, one day, a very great personality called Lord Shiva was meditating in these places. And at that time, he got angry because there was Kama, who is none other than the Cupid, who actually shot arrows at him. And those arrows disturbed his penance. Now, any devotee you can relate to this, that somebody who is doing a lot of penance and trying to be in the mode of transcendence, reaching to Krishna, and somebody disturbs that for material benefit, it is not that very nice. So Lord Shiva was greatest devotee of the Lord, Vaishnavanam Yada Shambhu. So he was meditating at that place, and Kama, Cupid, actually shot an arrow to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva got angry. He opened his third eye, which is considered as one of the greatest weapons. And with that anger concentrated on a person, Kama actually went into dust at that place. So later he begged his forgiveness. And because he lost his body, a body in Sanskrit is generally called as anga. And because he lost his body, from that day he was called as Ananga. So Kama is also called as Ananga. Many of you who got the Gayatri Diksha would understand the Gayatri mantra of Kama Gayatri, which has his name. Will not speak here because that's generally supposed to be um, begotten from your father or from your spiritual master. So that was the place where the Cupid, the god of love, actually lost his body. And hence that place became to be known as Kama Ashram, the place where Kama lost his body. But because Lord Shiva was doing such great penance, those penance and those positivity was still there, and those transcendence was still there, and the sages sat down at that place. Rama and Lakshmana took rest very nicely on that night at Kamashram. The next day morning is actually a very, very beautiful sight. In fact, the morning scene of this Ramayana episode waking up in Kamashram was such a great incident that even in South India today, this particular glorious form of Lord Ramchandra waking up still actually reverberates across every single house when you go. At least near the temple ramparts, wherever they are there, the families which are there, they play this song of none other than Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashardula Kartavyam Deva Manikam. So this is a great shloka written by Valmiki where he is actually portraying the scene. And I want you to just imagine the scene which is happening. In the Kamashram, this story was being narrated. Both are 12-year-old boys, and they are constantly listening to this pastime. And how do children listen to pastime? Children have a very unique way of listening to pastime. They relish the pastime, they sometimes cry, they sometimes feel fearful, however, the pastimes are. And when they actually were listening to the pastime, Lord Rama and Lakshmana were constantly saying, hmm, hmm, Hmm. So when they say that, that means that you know that the children are listening to the pastime. They're not, their minds are not wavering. They were stead focused. And when do you know they have slept? When that humkara is actually stopping. So while listening to the pastimes, they slept. Wherever they were sitting, they slept there itself. In fact, it was a bed of grasses and leaves of kusha grass. Lord Ramchandra kept his bow aside and he slept off. Vishwamitra also took rest. But Vishwamitra was an ascetic. He was a great sage. So, what he did was that he ensured that he also woke up and he actually took care of his morning rituals and ablutions that he has to do. And he just took one sight at Lord Ramchandra, who was actually lying down on the floor. And he was thinking, now it's 3:30 a.m. and very soon the Brahma Muhurta or the Mangalarti time is at 4:30 a.m. And generally it is suggested we should not generally suggested, it is suggested by Srila Prabhupada that we all should wake up for Mangalarti at 4:30 a.m. because that's the time when 1.5 hours before the sunrise we can very nicely concentrate on the Lord's holy names. So Vishwamitra was involved in this practice from being young, and he wanted to ensure that Lord Ramchandra also shows the world who is going to come up next that he was a very ideal practitioner as well. So he wanted to wake up Lord Ramchandra, and he was thinking, how should I wake up Lord Ramchandra? So, okay, so Zoom just told me that we can extend on this session, so we don't have to join back on the other one. Maybe this is one of gifts from Zoom, so we'll continue on this. So, as I was saying, Vishwamitra was wondering that how do we actually wake up this personality of Lord Ramchandra? So, can you imagine Valmiki is saying Vishwamitra wanted Ramchandra to wake up and do his duties. And he was thinking, what should I address him as? Should I address him as Raghava? Should I address him as Dasharatanandana? Should I address him as Ramachandra? Should I address him as Kodandapani? What are the different names by which I can address? And you should understand the mood of the spiritual master as well as the devotee here. Though he is acting as the spiritual master, he is actually a devotee of the Lord and he is enjoying the beauty of the Lord while he is sleeping. All those of you who came with us to Kumbakonam and also to Srirangam can definitely say that when you see the Lord, when he is sleeping on the Ananta Shayana with a hand and he is looking up, or he has Brahma coming up from his navel, that entire scene is very beautiful. That entire deities are very beautiful. Suptasya Shriman, he is called as. Suptasya means one who is sleeping. Only the Lord while he is sleeping is beautiful. Please understand. If you think that we, when we sleep, are very beautiful, then I have a humble request. Tell your partner, tell your mother or father when you are sleeping, please take the phone and click some photographs of how you sleep and show it to you when you actually wake up. You will see that your hairs are going here and there, Your legs might be one way towards the south and the other might be towards the north. We might be having some saliva dripping out of our mouth. It will be such a bad scene that even we don't like to see the way we are sleeping. But such is not the case with Lord Ramchandra. Ramchandra, even while he is sleeping, people find very devotees find him very attractive. He's called Suptasya Shriman. So Vishwamitra was looking at Ramchandra for a long, long time, and he did not know how should I wake him up. If I call Rama, he was thinking that what will happen. Ramchandra will think that he is in the palace of Ayodhya, because he might forget, he might be dreaming, and he might be thinking that now I'm going to wake up, I'm going to see my father Dasharatha, I'm going to see my brother Lakshmana, I'm going to see the palace, I'm going to see Sumantra, and he might be thinking that he is there in the palace. And he might suddenly wake up, and whom does he see? He sees this great sage with a white beard, with a big shikha, with a kamandalu, and with Vishwamitra, and with a tilak, and he might get very frightened. He's just a small boy of 12 years of age. So we should actually wake him up by such a name by which he remembers that he is in the palace. And he was thinking which name I should use. So he's actually now what he's doing is he's picking the best words, the best holy names of the Lord, and he's putting them all together in a sieve, and he's sieving them, and he's seeing which is the best name which will fall through the sieve, and I will use that name. So he puts Raghava, he puts Dasharatha Nandana, he puts everything, and he gets to know that the best name that falls through for this context is Kausalya Nandan, who is none other than Ramachandra himself. So that's what he says in the shloka. Kausalya Supraja Rama. He doesn't say Ram. He doesn't say Rama, you wake up. He says, "O son of Kausalya." So when he hears the name of his mother, Kausalya's name, so he will understand that this he is not startled by the fact that he's lying on the ground and he's in Kamashram. So this beautiful shloka of Kausalya Supraja Rama, O Supraja, one who is actually beautiful and resplendent, and the son of Kausalya, who is known as Lord Ramchandra. Please wake up. Narashardula, you are the tiger amongst men. And please, and after waking up, what should you do? Because the sun has started rising up. So you are supposed to do your nitya karmas, you are supposed to do your anushtanas, you are supposed to do your sadhana. So he says, Kausalya Supraja Rama, Purva Sandhya Pravartade. The Sandhya has gone, the Purva has come. That means in the east, the sun has risen. The darkness is going to be dispelled by the light of the sun. That means morning is going to come. Uttishta Narashardula. Uttishta means please get up, oh beautiful son of Kausalya. Narashardula. Kartavyam, please do your kartavya, please do your morning duties, please do your sadhana, which is given by our Srila Prabhupada has told us our sadhana. This applies to us also, because when the spiritual master is saying to the Lord that you please wake up, who are we? We are supposed to be devotional towards the Lord. So it applies to us also, so that we also get up in the morning. And what are we supposed to do? Kartavyam Daiva Manikam. So please worship the great lords, who is none other than Krishna. So we worship him by, as Srila Prabhupada has said, by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This whole episode of him thinking what is the name I should use started at 3:30 a.m., finished at 6 a.m. So he was thinking at 6 a.m. By this time, Lakshmana already got up, went to the Ganges, took bath, and came back, and he was holding hands and he was watching Vishwamitra. How will he call? So he was trying to call, and finally, when he said, Lord Ramchandra also woke up at around say 5:45, and he saw that his spiritual master was trying to wake him up. He said, "Oh Guru, why didn't you wake me up?" So then Vishwamitra said, "Looking at you, the way you sleep, I really like the way. So I was thinking like that." Then they both woke up. They did their morning duties, and they bid farewell from the sages of Kamashrama, and they started their journey towards their original destination, which was the Siddhashrama where Vishwamitra was lying. Again, they sat on the boat. The sages said, "You put Rama and Lakshmana in front, we will come in the back boat." A boat B was arranged. All the sages sat in those boats, and Vishwamitra and Rama were crossing the river of Ganges. At that time, a great noise was heard while they were amidst the riverbed. And when they were crossing the river, in the middle of the river, there was a great noise, a gushing of water was heard. And Rama, as I said before, he always likes to hear stories and he always wants to note down in his diary which are these places. So he immediately asked Vishwamitra, which is this place? What is this place called as? And why is this such a great noise coming out of this place? And then Vishwamitra was very happy because he generally loves to talk to Lord Ramchandra. And he said, let me tell you the story of this place. And this story is what our Vishal Prabhu also asked a couple of lectures back, which he wanted to know what is Sarayu. And in fact, Vishwamitra gives the answer that this is the place where Sarayu actually meets Mother Ganga. And this sound which is coming, that is because these two rivers are meeting and uniting together, and they are creating a tumultuous sound which we are able to hear right now. So then immediately Lord Ramchandra asks, oh, is it so? I have always heard this. Ayodhya is next to Sarayu. Can you tell me the story of Sarayu? Then Vishwamitra says, why not? I can tell you the story of Sarayu. There was a great mountain called as Kailasha. In the Kailasha mountains, there is a great lake, which is an oxbow lake, as we call it. It is called as Manasa Lake. The Manasa Lake is formed in the Himalayas. A small stream from the Manasa Lake actually originated, and that is what surrounds the Ayodhya city. That river is called as Sarayu. The reason why it is called as Sarayu is because the Sanskrit word of lake is Saraha. From Saraha, when the river flows, it becomes Sarayu. Hence, the name Sarayu was the right name, and it has been surrounding Ayodhya city from the same Kailashas, from the Jatas of Lord Shiva. One more stream flows, that is Mother Ganges, and this is the place Ramachandra, just away from Kamashrama, where Mother Sarayu actually meets Mother Ganges. So that's the story he told about Sarayu River and its origination. And this particular story, Lord Ramchandra heard very nicely, and he very soon crossed Mother Ganges in the boat, and he got down at the other side of the bank, and he saw great forests on the other side of the bank of Ganges. And immediately what would Ramchandra ask? Which is this forest? Where have we come? I know that the previous place was Kamashram. The place where the noise was made was Sarayu meeting with Ganges. Now where we have come, can you please tell me? So Vishwamitra was again happy. He said, let's walk. While walking itself, I'll show you the different places and I'll tell you what are the great places that you can see. Such is the great pastimes in Balakanda. If you see that all the short stories, if you want to put a child to bed and make him, give him some stories, you don't need to say Jack and Jill stories, you don't need to say Tom and Jerry stories. You can say so many stories which are there in Ramayana in itself, which can actually enchant even the young, the old, and everybody. So that's why Ramayana is there in the Balakanda. It's there as wonderful stories for everybody, for all of us to learn. So that's why I'm delving into these stories, giving what are the stories that Lord Ramchandra heard when he was a child is also a very important thing that we should hear. So he asks, what are these forests? And Vishwamitra starts narrating from his storybook, which is his memory, which is so wonderful. And he says that this particular forest is called as Malada and Kharusha. There were two forests in detail he speaks about. Malada. Malada means that which is like feces, that which is like the excreta that is given out from the human body. And Kurusha are generally known as the sins or the bad karmas. So this is a very strange name given to two cities, like the excreta or the feces or the sins which are getting thrown out. And he immediately asks, what is this place? Why is this strange name provided to these two places? And the answer that was given was very beautiful, that this was the place where Indra actually came to do penance. And Lakshmana was very intrigued and he asked Vishwamitra, why did Indra come to this place? What is the real reason? And then Vishwamitra narrated the entire story of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Indra actually killed Vrittasura. He was a great demon. At the same time, he was a devotee of the Lord as well. Because he did a Brahmahatya, he provided an offense to a devotee of the Lord, he actually got a lot of sins. And to get away with those sins, he came and did penance at this place, Lord Ramchandra. That's the answer that Vishwamitra gave. And when he gave that answer, and all the sins went away from him, and they got entered into the earth at this place. Hence, this has all the Mala and also all the Kurushas. So this place is called as Malada, and this place is also called as Kurusha. And then he said, okay, you tell me that this place was a great place of penance, but I see so much anxiety here. People are not seen anywhere. If I see the birds, they are frightened. If I see the deer, look at me and they run away. Why are the animals so petrified? Why are the birds so petrified? Why are the trees so petrified? Can you tell me the reason? Why is there a gloom in this place? Then Vishwamitra says, your questions are very, very important. And this is the reason why I brought you to this place. Listen to me carefully. I will tell you another story. There was a king called as Suketu, and he didn't have any son. So he did a lot of tapasya and he got a son, and his son's name, he got a daughter whose name was called as Tataka. Similarly, there was another king whose name was Jamba, and his son's name was called as Sanda. And this Sanda was married to none other than Tataka. So, the Sanda and Tataka, the son of Jamba as Sandha, and the daughter of Suketu as Tataka. Sanda and Tataka both married, and they gave birth to two children who are none other than Maricha and Subahu. You remember, Lord Rama, that I actually told you that I need protection in my yajna. These two sons of Maricha and Subahu, they are the ones who always come and cause destruction. Their mother, Tataka, lives in this forest, and she is a very big yakshi. That is, she is a female ogre who actually gobbles up human beings, animals, elephants. She just eats them when she sees, and she's tormenting these lands of this place called Malada and Kurusha, and she's been giving a very hard time to the sages and the other pious people who are living in these forests. Then Lakshmana asked, why is she doing that? What is the real reason? Then he says that her husband, Sanda, and this Tataka, they were roaming in the forest, and they came next to Agastya, and they actually wanted to charge on Agastya and give him harm. So Agastya, the great sage, he gave a curse by which Sanda was immediately killed. And when Sanda got killed, his wife, who is none other than Tataka, got very angry with Agastya, and she wanted to attack Agastya. So we see that anybody who tries to bring harm to devotees, there is nothing glorious that happens to those. Agastya was a great sage. In fact, we will see in Ramayana as we reach towards the Yuddha Kanda how Agastya comes and gives the greatest learnings to Lord Ramchandra. So this is revered by Lord Ramchandra, but he is hearing these stories of who they are. Please remember these stories. Only when they remember that in the young, they will get to know who they are later. So that's why he hears these stories and he gets to know that Agastya actually cursed Tataka as well as the person who will be harmed and by the curse, and she will turn into a yakshi. He said, very nice. And at the same time, when this story came to an end, there were great roars which were heard from the trees. The birds started fluttering away, all the fruits from the forest started falling, and from the top of the canopy of the trees, there were scenes where the birds were fluttering, and the canopy of the trees, one on one, and one of them were falling down. You might have seen in some movies like Jurassic Park, when the dinosaur comes, all the trees at the end starts falling down. something similar, but she was not of the size of the dinosaur. She was even greater than that. Valmiki gives a resemblance and gives us a very small glimpse of how was Tataka. Tataka was so devilish to look at. She had blood coming up from her teeth from her latest eating that she ate from KFC. She had all the different teeth and different marks of blood, and her smile, when she used to smile, only she can think that it is a smile. Others were petrified looking at her teeth. They used to give up their bodies. She was so bad. In fact, she used to smell very rotten. She had not taken bath for years, and she had all skulls on her. In fact, Valmiki gives one resemblance which by which you can get to know what is the size of Tataka when she appeared before Lord Ramchandra. You see, we all wear this kantimala. My kantimala is a little loose, but generally, if you see ISKCON devotees, they wear a kantimala of three. And some devotees, if you see, the kantimala will be right up to the neck. It will be like a tight neck. Similarly, Tataka was also wearing a kantimala, but it was not called as a kantimala. It was called as a different mala. But what were the beads made of? Valmiki says the beads were made of dead elephants. And how many elephants were there? 100 elephants. So, what she did, she used to kill an elephant. She used to take the trunk of the elephant. She used to take the tail of the second elephant whom she killed. And she used to tie both of them. And now two of them became a mala. Like that, one trunk to one tail of an elephant, she made 100 elephants. And she put that as a small necklace around her neck or small kantimala around her neck. So if 100 elephants are just like the kantimala, imagine the size of Tataka, that how she would be. That was the person who was coming from far looking at that, and Lord Ramchandra, he immediately saw that this is the time that I actually should obey my instructions. So he said, so Vishwamitra, what am I supposed to do? Then Vishwamitra said, you have learned all your lessons. Why don't you shoot this Tataka and kill her? Now, this was the instruction, first instruction. Till now, storytelling was going on. Till now, walking was going on. Now is the first work which is coming, for which the recruitment has been made. Till now, the recruiter, who is Vishwamitra, has recruited these two young boys. Now, the first instruction is coming, that you should shoot the arrows. But you know how Vishwamitra said it? There is a beautiful way that Vishwamitra said it. He said, Ramchandra, you are the greatest person, and you can shoot this arrow and you can actually bring down Tataka. In the next sentence, he says, I will be hiding behind you. Please take care of yourself. Now, look at this contrast of statement. Somebody says, don't worry, you go ahead. I know you will be successful. But the next sentence that they say, I am little afraid, so I'll be behind you. I hope you are also well. So either the second statement is contradicting the first, or the first statement is not true. But the Acharyas comment very beautifully here that Vishwamitra, when he said the first statement, he said it out of his intelligence. He knows that Lord Ramchandra is Lord Vishnu himself and he can protect himself. But while saying that, the second statement when he said was out of Vatsalya. The Vatsalya was that he saw the face of Lord Ramchandra, a 12-year-old boy, and he got lost in that face and he said, please take care of yourself, because you are a small boy, sometimes you might be able to take care. The same beautiful rasa is seen in Srimad Bhagavatam by Yashoda Maya and Krishna. She never thought that Krishna was her supreme personality of Godhead. She always thought that if I don't give milk to Lala, Lala will feel hungry. If I don't give barfi to Lala, Lala will get angry. If I don't give this sweet, or if I don't let Lala play with his young coward boys, he might get upset. She never thought he was a supreme personality of Godhead. She thought that I should feed him, I should put him to sleep, I should let him go outside, play with his boys. This was a constant feeling that Mother Yashoda had. This is the Vatsalya feeling where you forget that the Lord is actually the supreme personality of Godhead. While saying in this particular way, Vishwamitra ordered Lord Ramchandra to shoot the arrow. Lord Ramchandra took out his bow and he actually twanged his bowstrings which sent reverberations of sound across the forest. In fact, it was like a sonic boom that could be heard, and that sonic boom traveled across the forest. And Tataka, while she was eating, she heard the sound. She was very agitated that who is coming to her house and making a loud sound, louder than she is making. Just she started charging towards the sound, and she started coming out from the forest. And there she saw these two young princes with their quiver on the bow, and standing with a very great resplendent face, and behind him was the sage Vishwamitra. So she knew that they have here for a purpose to kill her, because she actually hated from Agastya's time all the sages, because that she thinks that sages actually killed her husband. So she was very, very aggrieved, and she took up a big stone and she started rushing towards Lord Ramchandra. At this time, Ramchandra took out his bow and he started to think for a second. He said, why should I actually kill a woman? Now, this is very important, because many people, as I said, the controversies in Ramayana are more than Ramayan's message in itself. Many people come and ask me, why did Rama actually kill a woman? Isn't he the great Kshatriya? He was supposed to protect a woman. So he asked this question to Vishwamitra, and Vishwamitra gave a perfect answer to that why he killed a woman. He gave many instances that dharma is more important than the gender of the person. We should not take the gender to be the most important, and the gender, because it's a gender neutral world, the gender neutral world is also possible to do mistakes and do adharma. So whoever does adharma, be it a boy or a girl, be it a man or a woman, whoever does adharma, that person should be punished. Then Ramchandra was given examples of how in the past that Lord Vishnu had come at many different places and had punished the wrongdoers. And that punishment example was given, and how their lives were taken, those examples were cited, which gave sufficient explanation for Lord Ramchandra. But immediately when he heard those explanations from Vishwamitra, he became sad. And Vishwamitra thought that something wrong has happened. He's supposed to become happy and he's supposed to shoot the arrow on Tataka. Now, why is he becoming sad? And all this while, Tataka was picking up big, big boulders and she was about to rush towards Lord Ramchandra. Ramchandra said the most beautiful words. He said, look, I was just given one instruction by my father, that follow this man. Whatever he says, you should do. That is the only instruction that my father gave. And in fact, I am Pitruvakya Paripalana. That means I have come here only to ensure that my father's words are taken to the utmost spirit. And that is why I am here. But here I am. I asked a question, why should I shoot an arrow when you ordered me to do so? In fact, I should have not asked the question. Such is the greatness of Lord Ramchandra's obedience towards his father. This does not mean that he is actually promoting blind following. Many people think that this is blind following. This is not blind following. This is obedience because it's coming from the right source, and it is coming after pariprashnena sevaya. It is coming after rendering due service and giving your heart and soul to the instructions of the spiritual master. This is not during the first meeting that he's accepting a service. He has served him, he has heard from him, he has walked with him, he has slept on the floor, and he has served him day and night. And after that, when an instruction comes, it's our duty to actually take that up. So when she rushes, she started throwing many boulders. Lord Ramchandra effortlessly throws back all those boulders away, and with one blazing arrow, she shoots at the very heart of Tataka. It hits her right there at her heart. Before that, with two arrows, he would have swiveled off her arms. Her arms fall down, clears an entire section of forest, and when the arrow hits her chest, her life also goes away and she falls down dead. And when she falls down, in fact, there's a beautiful humor also in this pastime. In fact, when Ramchandra says, why should I kill a woman? The answer given by Vishwamitra at first is the most beautiful one. In fact, if you read it in Sanskrit, whenever you get time, It says, Ramchandra, please look at her again. If by any means show me one single quality where she looks like a woman. Is her hair well dressed? Is she wearing a toenail? Is she wearing a toe ring? Does she have bangles? Does she is ornamented with good ornaments? Nothing is there. At least has she decked her up very well? These are some of the things which are allowed for a woman. A woman is allowed to get ornaments. A woman is allowed to get decked up because these are the things which actually attribute to the beauty of a woman. So this is allowed in the Shastras. And sometimes people make fun of it, even in the devotee circles, that why are you hoarding so much? While we are not body conscious, but some basic elements to be given is actually a necessity for a family husband or or a family dweller. He's supposed to take care of it. So he says, just look at her. She doesn't look like a woman itself. In what way are you saying she is a woman? Shoot the arrow now. So when he killed Tataka, all the devas and the demigods, they were very, very happy. They showered multitude of petals on Lord Ramchandra. Such was the great victory over Tataka that was achieved. Everybody was happily resounding the glories of Lord Ramchandra. And Vishwamitra was very happy, and he saw for the first time whatever he read in the retinue, whatever he read in the resume of Lord Ramchandra, that was very greatly, beautifully achieved. So immediately after the pastime, they walked in front, they crossed Malada and Kurusha, sorry, those two places. And then Lord Vishwamitra sat down and he said, Ramachandra, you have shown the greatest tricks and you have shown the greatest Kshatriya valor. So I would like to give you special blessings. In fact, there were two chapters where Vishwamitra gives all the missiles, all the astras, all the shastras to Lord Ramchandra. Some of the great ones that he gives is Dharma Chakra, which is actually taking care of the disc, which takes care of Dharma. He gives Kala Chakra, the time chakras. He gives Indra Chakra. He gives the Shiva's Trishul. He gives Brahmashir. He gives Aishika. He gives the Brahmastra. And he gives the different Gadas, which is Kaumodaki and also Shikhari. He also gives the Pashas or the nooses, which can be used to bind a person. He gives Dharma, Kala, Varuna Pashas, and so many so. In fact, if you read Valmiki's retinue of Ramayana, and if you read the Valmiki shlokas of Ramayana, you will be amazed by the amount of inventory that Lord Ramchandra gets after killing Tataka. So this also shows a very clear thing. A pastime of Tataka's killing is a great learning for us. We might hear a lot of instructions before killing Tataka. Similarly, a devotee also hears a lot of instructions and the glorifications of the Lord before coming with an obstacle in front, where the spiritual master will actually test how much is the disciple in waters. And the obstacle will come in front of us in our spiritual life like a great Tataka. And what is Tataka? She is none other than Maya, who is trying to attack us. And she is actually trying to attack us with big boulders. And what she throw? She throws distractions at us. When we want to chant, when we want to do our activities, she's throwing great distractions at us. And we, with our arrows of the holy name, we have to pierce each one of them and hit the heart and beat her so that we can render our service. What do we get when we render our service? We get more inventory of spiritual blessings by which we can actually go ahead fighting in the battle of Maya. So this is a great example of Tataka's killing with Lord Ramchandra displays, and all this is because Pari Prashnena Sevaya from the spiritual master. By rendering service unto the spiritual master, by executing service unto the spiritual master, the devotee gets all the blessings that he is supposed to get. So this is a great learning which we learn from the Tataka's Yuddha. And after Tataka's Yuddha, they start going towards go ahead. Now they have started their journey from Kamashrama. They came to Sarayu and Ganga. They came to Malada and Kurusha. They killed Tataka. Now they are going ahead, and when they go ahead, they hear a great noise again in the river, and they see Mother Ganges. And when they see Mother Ganges, then as usual, Ramchandra asks, which is this place? Can you tell me the name of this place? And he gives the great story of Mother Ganges. And also, we'll just take 5 or 10 more minutes before we stop for the day. We are exactly at 1 hour from the time we started. So we will very soon, in 5 or 10 minutes, we'll stop here. So he asks, can you tell me the name of Ganges? And in a very short way, Vishwamitra, in fact, in Ramayana, it is given in a very beautiful way. I urge you to read it. But he says that once there was a great king called Sagara, and this Sagara had two wives. One was called Keshini, and the other's name was called Sumati. And with the one of the wives, Sagara got 60,000 sons, and with the other wife, he got one son. So this 60,000 sons, they they 60,000 sons of Sagara. They were also reigning the kingdom. They were very beautiful, and the one son whose name was Asamanjas, he was also reigning along with Sagara. As I said in the previous lecture, that when the Ashwamedha Yajna was done, similarly Sagara, the great king, who comes in the lineage of Ishwaku himself, he once released a horse. And as I said, the horse has to be released. It will go to all the kingdoms, and it will take 1 year for the Sagara to actually check when the horse will come back. So this horse went to different places, and in fact, it went up to the Patal Loka. So in the 14 planetary systems, there are nether regions. It went to Patal Loka, and there was Kapila Muni ashram. Ashram of Kapila was there, and this horse went and stood at Patal Lok, and it never came back. So when the horse was not seen, at least somebody has to say who has captured the horse. Nobody told who captured the horse. So Sagara told the 60,000 sons, you please start finding. They went all over Mother Earth. They searched every kingdom, every road. They came to Chitakam. Came to Pune. They went to Kerala. They went everywhere across all continents. They came, they searched, they didn't get the horse. Then Sagara said, maybe they are in other planetary systems. So why don't you start digging? So 60,000 people immediately they started digging. They got their spades. They started digging Mother Earth, digging. So much that this digging started the waters from the nether regions to come inside. So that is why all this digging which happened on Mother Earth, and water covered all of them, and from there we call the Samudra as Sagara, because it was actually dug up by the sons of Sagara. It came to be known as Sagar or Sagara. So they started digging. All those 60,000 sons started digging up. The waters came in, but they never relented. They dug all of them, and finally they reached Patal Loka near Kapila Ashram. They saw the white horse, and they saw Kapilas in deep meditation. All the 60,000 sons, they thought that Kapila is the one who has actually stolen the horse. They took their spades, they took their weapons, and they started running towards Kapila. Kapila was a great sage. He just opened his eyes, and he burnt all the 60,000 sons into ashes. Sagara was waiting. He wanted to know what happened to the horse. The 60,000 people whom he sent, they were also unknown, so he didn't know what to do. So he expected Asamanjas. Asamanjas, as the name says, it was Asamanjas, means he was not adept to do any activity. So he could also not do anything. So his age also passed, and his son was none other than Anshuman. He actually took up the service of finding that horse of his father, which went away, and he actually went down the same path. He found the horse, and he met Kapila, and he fell at his feet and said, can you please revive the 60,000 brothers of mine, because they are all dead because of your anger, and can you please give back the horse? Kapila said, you can take the horse if you want, but 60,000 people, I have burnt them into ashes. That can be only possible if you bring Ganga, which is actually flowing in the three planetary systems. If she flows over the 60,000 suns, then only your 60,000 sons can be, the 60,000 brothers of yours can be saved. So Anshuman said maybe my lifetime is over. I cannot do it. So his son, who was none other than Dilip, another great king, he did penance for 32,000 years to bring Mother Ganges to Mother Earth, but he could not succeed. So his son, actually Bhagirath, continued the penance of another 32,000 years. So it took 64,000 years of penance where Mother Ganges agreed that I will come. And when she said that I will come, but I will come with such a force that the entire earth will be in a tsunami. So then Bhagirath said, "Oh my God, what am I supposed to do?" Then he prayed again. He went after 32,000 years of yajna, of doing meditation. He meditated again on Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva appeared and he said, "Don't worry, I will capture Mother Ganges when she falls on my jata." And when Mother Ganges, she was falling, and Lord Shiva captured her entirely. But when he saw that Mother Ganges was very aggressively flowing into Mother Earth, he immediately wrapped his jata, and then he is known as Gangadhar. He is also known as Gangadhara because he is the one who is Dharata. He is the one who is taking the load of Ganges on his jata. Now Bhagirath was again troubled. He thought Mother Ganges will flow, but she actually got stuck in Lord Shiva's jata. So he again prayed to Lord Shiva that, look, the 60,000 brothers of mine, my ancestors, they have to be relieved. So why don't you leave Mother Ganges from your jata? He said, okay. So he took one strand of hair, he splitted that into seven, and out of the seven strands, one jata's one strand, he said, I will open up. And from there is what Mother Ganges flows. And we see the force of Mother Ganges already. One interesting astronomical fact is because Mother Ganges flows through the entire astronomical space in all 14 planetary systems, even the astrologers of India look at our galaxy and they say it as Akasha Ganga or Milky Way. Why is it milky? Because the earth and the waters of Mother Ganges, because of our waves in that particular river, is having those froth of a milk, and hence it is called as Akash Ganga. And she comes to Mother Earth and she's coming. She tells Bhagirath, why don't you do one thing? You drive your chariot ahead and I will follow you. And Bhagirath is driving his chariot with full speed. Mother Ganges is coming all together until a place called Mayapur. If you visit and do a Navadip Mandal Parikram, you will see a place where there is a Janu's ashram, there where there is a great sage called Jahanu, where he was meditating. And Mother Ganges, because she was flowing behind Bhagirath's chariot, she swept away the entire ashram. And looking at that, the ashram got flooded, everything got lost. Janu became very angry, and with his mystic power, he drank the whole Ganges inside himself. And now Bhagirath was again under trouble. First, Ganga was not coming. Second, Lord Shiva was not releasing Ganga. Again, he meditated. Now he got Ganga. Now Janu has drunk her up. Again, he requested Janu and told the real reason. And Mother Ganges also offered her forgiveness, offered her obeisances, and Janu said, okay, fine, I release you. And from him came her name because he took Mother Ganges inside and then he released her from his mouth. Hence, her name is also called as Jahnavi because she is coming as the from the sage called Jahanu. And finally, the entire Mother Ganges flows through the 60 ancestors, 60,000 ancestors are relieved. Bhagirath is giving a resounding welcome, and Mother Ganges' name is also called as Bhagirathi because she came behind the Ratha of Bhagirath and because he did such a great tapasya. In fact, all the story was told and the time had passed. Vishwamitra was telling all these stories. Ramchandra was hearing all of these, and they crossed Mother Ganges and were received at a different place where they crossed Ganges, and now they came near a kingdom called Vishala, and the kingdom called Vishala was near a river called Shona. What happened next? Where did they go next? What stories did Vishwamitra say? That we will see tomorrow again. We are meeting in the morning. And how did they reach Janaka's kingdom? And whom did they meet there? How did they break the bow? And how did they marry Mother Sita? And tomorrow is a great place where Mother Sita is for the first time being mentioned by Valmiki. Till now, we have been only hearing about the hero of the story. but tomorrow is the real Sita Charitam Mahat. As Valmiki says, we will hear the glories of Mother Sita, without whom this entire Ramayana would have not come to existence. But there are still some small short stories before we reach there. So I request all of you, please join us tomorrow again at 11 a.m., where we continue this beautiful journey, where we hear Lord Ramchandra traveling, keeping one step at a time, along with his preceptor, along with Vishwamitra, and hearing these beautiful stories of how Ganges came to Mother Earth. Let us also meditate on the beautiful eyed form of the Lord. And when we wake up tomorrow, let us remember how Vishwamitra woke up Lord Ramchandra with the beautiful hymns of Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narasahar Kartavyam Devamanikam. With that, we come to a close on today's lecture, and I wish you a great Mangalarti in the morning and a great remembrance of Lord Ramchandra. Apadavadavattaram dadaram sarvasampadam lokabhiramam Sriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamiham. Srirama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varaname. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If there are any questions or comments, we can discuss.